Hey guys, this is Tom Hanks. Welcome to another stream. Today we will have the first day of races for the 1992 Sports Truck Challenge. So I'm gonna fire up BeamNG real quick, and then we can get started. So in total, we had 24 submissions this time. 3 cars got disqualified, and more on that in a second. But 21 of them will be competing, and that's, I think, the most I've ever had in a community challenge. So thank you to everyone who submitted a car. It's going to be a long day today. Of course, we will start out on the quarter mile because, let's be honest, in real life, the sportiest driving that most people are gonna do with their sports truck is gonna be taking it to the quarter mile. Like, no one's ever gonna take these to a racetrack. Let's just be honest here. Let's just start with the disqualified cars. First up is the Aikawa Symbiosis Sport Utility 3.9 intercooled, which was sent in by Unos 100, and this was disqualified because it broke the power to weight limit. It had 264.3 horsepower, 1556.5 kilogram, and that was more than the 1 to 6 horsepower to kilogram ratio that was required. So the car would have had to be heavier with this amount of power. Okay. Real quick. Okay. Actually, let's try this in rear drive mode so we don't bog down after start. Didn't make a difference. Hey Random41, how's it going? This is a quiet truck or you're quiet? I don't know. Give me a second here. I can increase the in-game volume a little bit. I can increase my own volume a little bit. There we go. Hey Luke T, Mac Cheese Rapper, Ricky Das, and yeah, everyone who just joined. I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. How about you guys? How's your day going? We're just, getting ready. We're driving the disqualified cars here first, just to get these out of the way. This is the Primari Tracker, and this was disqualified because it did not meet the minimum drivability. Oh, you're studying for a job interview this week. That's awesome, Random41, because I think you commented on one of my recent videos that you're struggling finding a job. Great to hear that you're actually now at least invited to a job interview. I guess the game volume is quiet because this time I had a pretty low maximum loudness on these engines, so the trucks just are quiet. 14.9 for the primary tracker. And the third disqualified car was the Wells TNT by Deuce the Truth. And this also broke the power to weight limit. The power to weight limit was 1 horsepower for every 6 kilogram that the car has. This had 309.7 horsepower and 1462.2 kilograms, meaning that with this power output that this engine makes, the car would have had to weigh 400 kilograms more than it does. So yeah, you missed that target by a mile, my friend. Oh, automatic as well. Wouldn't be surprised if this is the quickest because of that. 13.5. Alright, I'll also drive my own cars because, you know, put some time into them. So one of my 2 cars is this one. This is the one that you have in the thumbnail of the challenge rules video. And this thing has a 4-liter twin-turbo V6 with 305 horsepower, and it weighs 1,840 kilograms. So, and it's got a 4-speed advanced automatic. Unfortunately, only 4 speeds because that's what you get. I will be scoring the aesthetics on all of the cars that are actually competing, yes, but not on the disqualified cars, obviously. 13.9. And my second car is this. This has a 4.8 liter pushrod V8. 245 horsepower and I think about 1480 kilograms or something like that. Can't remember. Yes, both of my trucks are 4-wheel drive. So 4x4, not all-wheel drive. This definitely sounds better than the other one, but who doesn't like a good V8 noise? 14.3. It's slower though. Yeah. So with that out of the way, let's now get into the actual competitors. First one is the Bakerfield Karamote VSR by Tez. Veganists don't like a good V8, yeah. And environmentalists, I guess, Greenpeace and what have you. So let me tell you about this car. This has a 6.8 liter V8. It makes 259.5 horsepower and it weighs 1,558.8 kilograms. And it's 4x4. Oh, I'm gonna do this run in a second. First we need to go again to styling. I forgot about that. So the front end looks quite, you know, very American and muscular, shall we say, with that hood scoop. I do like it actually. The rear is relatively plain and simple, a little bit over the top with quad exhausts. I think, like, I don't think any like sports truck back then would have had quad exhausts, but I mean I might be wrong. And these chrome rims are also a little bit much, but it's fine. I mean, overall, I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10 for styling. I do really like the front end. A little bit, a few things here and there that I don't like as much, but overall, I think it's good. You forgot wipers. It's all good. Anyway, let's get into the quarter mile run then. $13.9. This time I think we definitely have to keep track of all 3 ditches behind the point, because with the power to weight ratios being so similar, I think it's gonna be really tight. It's gonna be a really tight race. So that was 13.902. Next up, the BeamNG Tycoon STD JDM. This was sent by Ryan93. It's got a 2.4 liter inline 4 turbo, and that makes 249.8 horsepower, and it weighs 1500.9 kilograms. Also, that's yours. Okay, so that's I didn't know this was your YouTube name. Hello to you, Ryan. How are you doing? Are you going to just drag race the trucks today or do something else with them? I will be driving them on the Utah asphalt hill climb as well. I don't know what STD stands for, but yeah. And by the way, I know that that automation has like 10.7 trillion mods on the workshop, and there's like 50 new ones every single day. And I try to keep up as much as I can with downloading and installing them. But for a few cars, there were like mods that I apparently didn't have, and I didn't bother, because there's just so many mods on the workshop. I can't possibly install all of them, because there's always going to be something that I'm missing. So if your car is missing something that should be on there, I'm sorry. Okay, and that goes for a few cars in this comp, by the way. Styling wise, though, I do really like this car, because it really sticks out. Like, there's so much detail on it. It does have the Japanese vibe with the mirrors being placed so far up front. The racing stripes on the side are tasteful as well. I know it would normally have these STD vinyls here, and here as well. That those didn't load in Beam. I don't know. Beam does things like that. There's just so much detail on this, with the side skirts, with these things here around the top of the bed, the rear bumper. Like, honestly, this is a phenomenal looking truck. Not very American, but you know, trucks were made in other countries too. So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna hold back here. I think this is a really, really good looking truck, and I'm gonna give this 10 points for styling. Let's see how fast it is. not very, apparently. 14.6. 14.602. It did have quite a bit of turbo lag at the start, so that's, I think, what held it back. But this has the chance to redeem itself later today at Utah, so it's just a shame that it couldn't really get off the line very quickly. Next up, the brown U150 Sport by Sedan 57 Chevy. It is my first, you know, in previous challenges I've always been like, yeah, I really like this car, but let's preserve the 10 for if something comes along that I like even better, but I'm not going to do that anymore. Like, when I think that the car deserves a 10, I'm no longer going to be like, oh no, let's give this a 9 and see if something better comes along later. I'm not, I changed my attitude about that. If I really think something looks awesome, then I'm just going to give it a 10. You know, more than one car can be a 10 in my opinion. And so I've just changed my mind about that. In particular. So the brown U150 Sport is also a very good looking truck in my opinion. And like this one does look very American and very classic. Looks a little bit older than 1992, but that's fine. I mean, there's plenty of trucks that have had a pretty long production life. So, you know, maybe a truck was introduced in 1984 and then still sold with the same basic design in 1992. That was not unheard of. So it's got that kind of vibe. I do like the fact that, can I actually zoom in here a little bit? But you see that there's these the red trim around the side skirts and the fenders, and that same red has been used for the background, for the badging on the rear and also on the front underneath the brown. You can barely see it in the sunlight here in Beam, but you can see it in automation. And that red also matches with the interior color. Once again, I think this is a phenomenal looking truck, very detailed and a very different direction from the Burmag. And I'm going to be honest with you here, I'm going to give this one a 10 as well. Automatic. $14.139. Okay. In between the first two cars, so not much more to be said for now. Next is the Delta Deliverance by MK Mailer. And that one comes with a 2.5 liter turbocharged inline-4. It makes 191.7 horsepower and weighs 1485.9 kilograms. Sounds underpowered to me. Yeah, to me as well. We'll see. Maybe it destroys everything around the track, but I don't think it's gonna do that well on the quarter mile just from power to weight alone. What is this kind of? What is that on the in the bed? Is that on purpose? Is that some sort of felt or whatever? Or is that just, you know, a visual bug in Beam? Anyway, for the rest of the design, looks, you know, very classic American. Simple but elegant. Doesn't have very much going on the rear besides the sort of two-tone white and green, which I do like, but I feel like there could be a little bit more detail here, especially on the rear. It's not as noticeable, the lack of detail is not as noticeable on the side because the white and green flows very well here, but it's a little bit lacking on the rear in my opinion. I'm gonna give this an 8. It's what you would expect a truck to look like. Nothing truly outstanding, but it works pretty well. Okay, no torque off the line. $14, $15, $16.038. This will probably be the slowest of the bunch. So yeah, quite a bit of turbo lag on this one, even though it is quite large for a four-cylinder turbo. And it's low on power, yeah. So, but again, who knows, like in terms of handling, it might destroy everyone. Like we'll see later today. Next up, the Durandal Gladius X by Arma Motors. This comes with a 5-liter V8, making 222.4 horsepower, and it weighs 1,334.7 kilograms. Oh, it's wrinkle paint. Okay. Okay, you went with the monochromatic 90s look. And you do have a bed cover as well on the rear. This looks much more like a sedan with the rear basically chopped off. So in that sense, it does look fitting. It looks like the front looks like it could be a sports sedan. The rear end, I think like something about the fixture placement is a little bit off. I would normally prefer the taillights to be a little bit further up, and then so basically the taillights to be a little bit further up, and then the batching like down here or below or somewhere, and the trunk handle right here also looks kind of out of place. Overall, not a bad design, but I'm not a fan of the rear end. Front is okay. I'm gonna give this a 6. $13.973. So this, I believe, would mean second place as of right now. It is pretty speedy, yeah. Not quite fast enough though to take the lead. Next up, the Falcon T300. That was by Logoris. It's got a 3.5-liter inline 5 turbo, making 284.2 horsepower and weighing 1,740 kilograms. That's faster than I was able to do with it. I don't know what I'm doing different. But I mean, I'm literally driving in a straight line, so. But anyway. Okay, we've talked about the engine. Let's talk about the design. I think that the front scoop is a little bit too large, and the whole sort of bright blue and black is something that I would appreciate on, you know, a supercar, but on a truck that's mostly a utility vehicle, it seems a little bit out of place. It does look, you know, aggressive, and it's really low to the ground, so it's going to be interesting to see how that does off-road tomorrow. I mean, the headlights are very 90s-ish. Nothing really much to complain about that, but I don't think this works for a truck. I'm going to give this a 5. A nice effort, but kind of missed the mark on this one, I'd say. Let's see if we can get this to launch any better. Nope. Bogged down again. 1.7 bars of boost. $15.1. Like, how does this have so much turbo lag with a 3.5-liter turbo inline 5? Normally, like when you have such a large turbo inline 5 engine, normally there's so much torque even at like 2000 RPM that you have no problems launching a car with that engine, but I got no idea. Maybe it's something about well, it might also have to do with gearing, because on most other tracks you would want first gear to be a little bit longer so you don't have much wheel spin, and when you set up the gearing like that, then because the surface is so sticky, you're gonna bog down. Next up is the fifth wheel Camberta S, made by Harmless. This has a 3.5-liter inline 6 turbo, making 346.9 horsepower, and the car weighs 2,081.8 kilograms. This will be an odd one. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely one that stands out, right? Like this, like just look at it. It's massive. It's just absolutely huge in every way. Looks good though. I mean, this is a classic 40s truck body. It still works, and with the exhaust exiting there on the side towards the top. Nicely finished. Like, honestly, it doesn't have like a crazy amount of detail on like the sides or whatever, but just these little things, like these little indicators up here, the side exhaust obviously, the little chrome strips, the bumpers, everything works very well together. I think that this is also definitely one of the more unique cars I'm gonna give this a 9. $14.033. Okay. Good. Let's move on to the Gigantor Americana. That was sent in by Genja FT. This comes with a 10.9 liter V8. It has 425 horsepower and the car weighs 2,561.1 kilograms. So, yep, 10.9 liter, the maximum capacity that you can go with a V8 in automation. So it's 10,870 something, I think, cc. So I don't think I'm gonna have any complaints about torque with this one. I'll just say that for now. Styling wise, I think it's relatively simple but elegant at the front. It's got no wipers, and I don't know why the hood is blue. Like, that's the one thing that's a little bit odd to me. Rear end is also simple but fine. The front is decent. The side and rear have no real detail though. I'm gonna say 5. Let's do this again. Yep, another automatic, but 13.568. 1/1000th of a second behind the car that got disqualified for having way too much power for its weight. So this is really, really quick. Next is the ITA Melon V8. That was sent in by, let's see. Where is it? That was sent in by Priam. It's got a 4.5 liter V8, making 241 horsepower, and it weighs 1,473 kilograms. You do get faster shifts with the auto, but the disadvantage is that sometimes when you're on a track and you brake before a corner, it doesn't shift down enough, so it leaves you in a higher gear than you really want to be, and that loses you a lot of time. But really, I think the reason they went for the auto is probably for drivability. So here, the ITA Melon V8, I do like the two-tone color on this one, the sort of matte orange and black. I think that works pretty well. The front looks like a sports car, more than a truck, but that's fine. The rear is also fine. See, here I think the low taillights work much better than on the what was it? Than on the Durandal. I like this one actually. This is an 8 for design in my opinion. Ah, another automatic. Really gotta shift into drive at the last possible moment to get a good launch with an auto. 14.042. That's good. Felt strong enough. Next up, the Cover Graph LRS, and you know, this is sort of bugged out. At least the preview is here in BeamNG, but the car is fine. So this car comes with a 5-liter V6. It has 247.2 horsepower and it weighs 1614.2 kilograms. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, make sure to leave a like. It really helps me out. This is a rather simple design. Not, you know, bad, but I mean, I don't know what these stickers are here at the rear. Like the 4x4 is fine, but this one, I don't know what that is. I don't know. Is it just me, or is this car just missing something? Like this feels like an unfinished design to me. Yeah, it's high. It's got a high ride height, but that's fine. I mean, we're going off road tomorrow, and it's got a solid axle and probably a ladder chassis underneath, in all likelihood. So I'm gonna give this a 4. Okay, we got some diffs to lock here and some traction control to turn off, and now we're ready to go. Another automatic. $13.783. That was a quick one. That's actually second place for now. Okay. Well done. Next is the Kodai Nemesis Yari 1992 Ute. Doesn't locking the diffs on tarmac break the car? Nope, it doesn't. The Kodai Nemesis. This was sent in by Costco. It's got a 3.3 liter inline 6 engine, making 220.7 horsepower, and the car weighs 1332.7 kilograms. I should start putting A in the beginning of my car's names. What? So you can only watch the beginning of my streams and then leave again once I'm done with your car? Ever thought about my watch time? That's so important to progress on YouTube. Ever thought about me? I'm just kidding here. Anyway, so the Kodai. It is a fairly nice looking car in my opinion. It's fairly low to the ground. It looks again more like a sedan with the rear pillar missing, which is not a problem just by itself, but it doesn't have the typical look of a truck. Still nice though, like the two-tone paint works well. I think the rear, the taillights are a little bit too big. They take up too much of the rear. But other than that, well, it's a solid design. I'd give this a 7. License plate glitched out. Yeah, whatever. $13.991. That's decent enough time. And we actually have quite a bit more separation between some of these cars than I was expecting. Like first place is a 13.5 at the moment, and last place is a 16.0. I wasn't expecting there to be such a significant gap. But anyway. Next is the Longley Titan 516 ST. Which is sent in by Impressive555, which I believe is the same user as Wangmaster420 on the forums. This comes with a 1.6 liter turbocharged inline 5, making 215.5 horsepower, and it weighs 1304.1 kilograms. And this has a lot of turbo lag, and for this one I'm actually going to show you after we talk about the design. Yep, a 1.6 liter inline 5 turbo. I'm going to show you in just a second. So this has a lot of detail on it, a lot of badging, a lot of... I think something about this front end says like muscle car. I can't really say if it's, Camaro or Challenger or whatever. The side, aside from besides the two-tone paint and the Titan badging, doesn't have a whole lot going on. The rear end is very, very busy, and in my opinion too busy, and I don't really like the exhaust here either. Difficult to rate this one, because the front is decent, but the rest is not really... I don't really like the rest of it very much. It feels like there's such a disconnection between the design language on the front and then the design on the rear. I think it's a 5 overall. But before we get into the race, let's quickly... I'm gonna show you this real quick. Torque curve. As you can see here, 4,000, nobody's home. 5,000 is where you start getting some power. And then it revs to like 7,800 or whatever. Yep. Yep. So let's see. Try again. Nope, even trying to launch at full boost didn't really work. It just bogged down. It's too heavy for such a small engine. $16.237. That places it in last for now. Was I the only rear-wheel drive truck? I don't think so. Next is the Mara Bison LWB 5.0i AMM. This was sent in by Andy D. It's got a 5-liter V8. It makes 204.2 horsepower and it weighs 1,239.6 kilograms. I'll be back in a phone call. Yeah, sure. Don't worry. This is rear-wheel drive? Is it really? Okay. Cool. It's got a flat plane V8. It does look a little bit too... I don't know, like it looks like a toy car because of the bright color and the stripe over the middle. Like this is not something you would see on an actual truck in 1992. It doesn't look bad, like at all. I like that it's so different to all the other cars, but it doesn't look like something that would have been actually sold in 1992. Still though, nice effort. And I do like the spare tire on the rear there. And the side entrances here. I do like it too, but it's not something... Yeah, the proportions of everything. I'm gonna give this a 6 because I think it's got some things going for it, but other things just don't work, in my opinion. $14.224. Next is no, not this one. This is my own car. Next is the Minx Convoy Sport. That one was sent by Animated Gaming 12. It's got a 4.3 liter turbocharged inline 6, making 276.6 horsepower, and the car weighs 1,667.6 kilograms. Flat planes are awesome. I just don't think that very many trucks, if any, had a flat plane V8. I mean, there's probably one or two that had one, but can't think of one as of this moment. Let's get to the styling. See, this one I think is also relatively simple, but I think it works. I think this is something that looks very 90s-ish. It's got a little hood scoop. Or a little, hump, if you will. The rear end is also simple yet elegant. The exhaust exits to the side, okay. I think this is how you do a simple design that still looks good in my opinion. This gets, yeah, 8 for me. Yeah, that I would agree that that's it's clearly what it's clearly a relatively sporty and yet still fully functional truck. I mean, it's what you would expect. Let's try that again. Launches hard. Wow. 13.07? Is that right? I felt like the time the time counter on the top right was kind of stopping for just a moment there, halfway through the run. Let's try this again. Nope. I mean, the first one was better, but I had a better launch there as well. No, it really is that fast. 13.07. It's a very well-tuned inline-six. See, this is what I said. I wasn't expecting there to be such a huge gap between the first place and or between the competitors, I should say, because apart from the Delta Deliverance, everyone here has pretty much the same power to weight ratio. But this just goes to show how important like the engine power and torque curve and the gearing are to making a car quick. The next is the Owl TS 28 by user Mertel. It's got a 2.8 liter V6 turbo, making 219.8 horsepower, and the car weighs 1,321.7 kilograms. This again is a relatively simple design, but it's got these red accents that you also had on the GMC Cyclone, I guess. It's also got a two-tone black and gray paint, as well as some red accents, which I do like. Side exhausts. Turbo badges. Definitely looks very 90s. What do we think about this one? Like an 8 or something? It looks good. Like it's I don't think it's like outstanding, but it works very well. Yeah, I'll give it an 8. $13.882. See, this one only has 0.2 bars of boost on the turbo engine. We've seen cars that had like, 1.7 bars. So it's the opposite extreme here. Next up is the Packard Commodore V8. That was sent in by Teacup, who won the previous community challenge, the Weekend Sports Car Challenge. This comes with a 3.8 liter V8, making 218.1 horsepower, and the car weighs 1,308.6 kilograms. That's exactly 1 to 6. Like right on the dot. Now, when I received this car and loaded it up for the first time, some of the rear bed cover was kind of bugged out, and so it stuck out like half a meter or so on either side, left and right, with along with the taillight arrangement that's on them. So I fixed that. If it's not 100% as it should be, I apologize, but you know, it's definitely better than having like the rear bed cover sticking out up until like here or so with lights on it on either side. Definitely a nice sporty, like sports sedan or sports coupe even look on the front. I don't know if this is like 100%. Like, it's two separate fixtures, okay? So this bed cover that he used has lights on it, like a full light bar all the way across. And then he has these other fixtures over top of that. So again, I don't know if this is 100% the same way he had it for him, but for me, when the car imported, the bed cover was way out of proportion and completely messed up, and so I don't know if this is 100% accurate. So based on that, oh, good shout. He did make a forum post as well of his car. Let's see what it looks like there. Oh, okay, right. So this would have had to move further down so that the upper edge of this light bar lines up with this fixture here. It's basically a red background for the other lights, and then the brake lights and everything would just light up through that. You're gonna have to go to the forums there and look at his car if for the full picture of the rear end of what it's supposed to look like. And again, I'm sorry, but in my opinion, with the rear end assembled the correct way, I'm gonna give this a 9. Twelve 13.696. It's a deep plum color on the forums. It is, but you know the forums the colors always change when you change slightly in like saturation and whatnot when you export a car from automation to BeamNG. That goes for every color though. Next is the TMC Yamasi Cross Country 4x4. And that is sent by Luke T. the Boss. It's got a 4.1 liter inline 6 turbo. It makes 281 horsepower and the car weighs 1,707 kilograms. Yeah, no one knows why. Why BeamNG doesn't import automations colors properly, but all we know is it doesn't. The TMC Yamasi, I think it's got a pretty nice front end here. Kind of looks Toyota-ish for some reason, I think. Anybody else? Revhang, you've missed quite a few cars in the quarter mile, but the Utah asphalt hill climb is still to come today. I think the rear end has just enough on it as well. It's not too simplistic and it's not too overly like busy either. The side has a little pinstripe running across the side and the side indicators. I feel like this works pretty well. I'm gonna give this an 8 actually. It's again one of those cars that I think looks simple, but it works. This has to be like the quietest car. Even I can barely hear it. So I don't know how much of it you guys can hear. Quick though, 13.570. It's just 0.02 of a second behind the Gigantor, putting it in third place. Next is the Todoki FT35X Endurance, sent by Aaron with pizza. And Aaron has not only done very, very well in the Weekend Sports Car Challenge, but he also won the budget Japanese Sports Car Challenge that I did before. So it has a 3.5 liter inline 6 turbo, making 250.4 horsepower, and the car weighs 1502.6 kilograms. So this is probably going to be fast. If not here, then definitely on the hill climb stages. This is a very sort of aggressive looking ute. Very much looks like just a sports coupe, only that the rear happens to be a flatbed. Looks very Japanese, very Skyline-ish with these headlights and the main grille. The rear end doesn't work for me. Like these taillights are too slim and too aggressive, and there is too much blank space around them. I think the rear end doesn't work in terms of styling. The front end is fine. The the side is completely blank, other than the, purple and black theme going on. But the rear end doesn't work for me. I mean, I can't really rate this very highly in terms of its styling because of the rear end and because of the lack of detail on the side. So I'm going to give this a 4. $13.549. That should put this in second place for now. Yeah, it does. It does. Remember, this is both the same car. I did a second run to confirm. Very quick, and I expect good things from this on the hill climbs as well. Next up, the Tirana Trooper ST4, which was sent in by Traffic125. This car has a 4-liter V8, makes 235 horsepower, and it weighs 1,413 kilograms. What do I do differently? I only got a 14.3 or something. I don't know. Maybe you got a bad launch. I guess what made it seem slow is the fact that, you know, from second to third, it seems to have a much longer gear ratio in third than it does in the first 2 gears, and so it doesn't. The revs don't climb as high, so that's what makes it feel slow. But it wasn't. It was pulling nicely through third gear. So the Tirana. I gotta say I'm not a fan of the headlight shape here. It's different and I appreciate that, but I don't think it works. Rear end is, well, plain and simple, but fine in my opinion. With a little bit of badging, with some leather badging across the rear here, I think this would have been a very nice rear end design. Side is good. The stripe works well. The 4x4 badging and side exhaust. To me, it's the front that doesn't really score that well here, but overall still a good effort. I'm gonna give this a 6. $14.041. Yeah. It's gonna place this somewhere in the middle. We got 2 more to go. The UAZ Stalker Sport by Random41 is the next car on the list. This has a 3.7 liter V6, makes 243.2 horsepower, and the car weighs 1,459.3 kilograms. I've noticed that a faster FPS will give better times, at least in a quarter mile. Possibly, but only up to a point, surely. Like, if I uncap the FPS and it runs at like 150, I don't think it's gonna make the car that much faster still. I think that may be true up to a point, but I think there comes a point where you get nothing more out of it. So for the UAZ, this is another one that I actually quite like now that it's here in BeamNG. In automation, I was kind of like, doesn't look too special, but here I think it works pretty well. The 2-tone paint between black and gray, and then the sport on the side. The rear end as well, again, relatively simple, but nicely equipped with the rear bumper here. A little bit of badging, a trunk handle, and a brand badge here. No wipers, but you know. Anyway, I think this design works very well. It's kind of nice and simple as you would expect from a truck, but still elegant and works nicely. I'm gonna give this an 8. Very believable, very realistic, yeah, indeed. So let's see how fast it is after we lock the diffs and disable traction control. Call them hidden wipers. 11, 12, 13, 14.149. Felt a little bit quicker than it ended up being, but still not a terrible result, I think. Last but not least, the Ursus 5.7 ST made by ABG7. It's got a 5.7 liter V8, as the name would suggest. That V8 makes 239.6 horsepower and the car weighs 1450 kilograms. That one's gonna be a good one. Let's see. So it's the only, I believe it's the only one that's like plain white in terms of paint. We've had white trucks before, but they were usually two-tone, like white and brown, white and gray, white and green we've had. This was like the only one that's, I believe, plain white. Well, I guess the Ryan's truck, what was it called? The Burmac Tycoon. That was also like plain white, but with a bunch of different colored stripes on it. The front is again pretty like like brutally simple, but like realistic for a truck, right? It's very believable for a 90s truck. A little hump on the bonnet as well, or a pretty big one. The rear end, see, it does have quad exhaust, but they're not like massive like we've had on one or two other trucks so far. So this, I believe, is believable, right? And it's nothing fancy, it's nothing like outstanding. But it's a solid, 90s truck design. I'm gonna give this a 7. This is also a rear-wheel drive, by the way, as you can see by the missing drive shaft button next to the ESC button. 14.181. Okay, so let's see. Gonna quickly adjust the spreadsheet here. We're gonna sort by column D, and then boom. No, sort range. Sort. There we go. So Tess, if you would be so kind as to fill in the scores here. Again, 10 points for first place, 9 for second, and so on and so forth. 11th and below get 0 points. While we move on to the next race, which will be on Utah, the asphalt hill climb. And we will start with the disqualified cars again. Yeah, let's talk about the results of the drag race. The Minx Convoy Sport won convincingly with a 13.07. The Todoki came second with a 13.549. Third was the Gigantor with a 13.568, followed by very closely by the TMC Yamasi with a 13.57. You do have 15 points so far, and that places you in joint second as of right now, along with the Placard Commodore V8. And then first would be the Minx Convoy. This is a very eager front end. This likes to turn. That's the Aikaba Symbiosis, by the way. Very nice handling truck. You almost don't think it's a truck. 101.868. All right. Next out of the disqualified cars, the Primari Tracker. Yep, I did give 2 10s for styling today. Yep, indeed, yours, Ryan, and also the one from Sedan 57 Chevy. Got a 10 as well. So everyone who just joined the stream, welcome, welcome. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, don't forget to leave a like. Again, very well balanced truck slash ute. I did give 9s in the last challenge as well. And in the one before as well. .572. Unfortunately, just didn't feel like it had the grunt that the Aikaba had. But this one is probably gonna feel like it's too quick because it has way too much power for its weight. But yeah, so this is basically like in the past. When I did community challenges and I really liked the design, I was always like hesitant to give a 10 because I was always thinking maybe there's a car coming up later that I might like even better, so let's give it a 9. But usually that didn't happen, and so now I'm thinking, okay, if I think a design is just awesome, then I'm gonna give it a 10. And I think there can be more than one car with a 10 for design. So I've changed just my mindset about this. Let's do this again. There it suddenly started understeering. .727, still enough for the lead though. But yeah, again, it's because this car should weigh about 400 kilograms more with the power it has. Anyway, I'm gonna skip my own reference cars because we need to move along here. We've got 21 cars to go through, so anyway. Here is the Bakerfield. The Bakerfield Caramote VSR. There it is. See here the gearing works very well. Whereas on the sticky surface of the drag strip, it kind of bogged down off the line a little bit because the gearing was a little bit too long for that scenario. Engine feels strong up the hill here. .58, 59. This is going to be the first one under a minute. 59.57. Very nice. This actually felt very, very, very good. Powerful engine, well-balanced chassis, good tune, solid. I think that's going to be a good finish. Next, the BeamNG Tycoon. Okay, so that's similar to what you could get out of it. Nice. See here the turbo inline 4 works. .101, 102, 103.372. I feel like the wheel spin off the line as well as the understeer through that tight second-hand corner near the end of the track, that's what lost most of the time there. Maybe it could have been a little bit quicker up the hills as well with a bigger engine, but I feel like most of the time went there. Next, Brown U150 Sport. I'm not gonna read that one out loud. What did this get for this? And the brown, that one I also gave a 10. This and the BeamNG Tycoon got a 10 from me. This is two-wheel drive. You can see that there's no little thing to click for the drive shaft next to the ESC sign, which means it's only two-wheel drive. 103, 104, 105.241. I don't really know why the time is so slow on this one. I don't, probably due to gearing more than anything. The engine itself, I think, is powerful and everything. I think it's mostly due to gearing. Next, the Delta Deliverance MK Mailer, which had by far the lowest power to weight ratio. So, who knows? Maybe it's gonna outhandle everything. But at least on this hill climb, power does really matter. Like, everything is pretty steep uphill, so so the power is definitely going to be an issue here. Hey, Saddam 57 Chevy, welcome to the stream here. Your car got a 10 out of 10 for styling, by the way, from me, and it just went up the hill in a 105.2. Which is in third and for now last place, but yeah, I mean, this, you can really notice the lack of power on this one. Yep, this is where you lose time in this one. I mean, it turns pretty damn well, but everything here is uphill, so you need that power. 105.816. The house was terrible with a lot of structural issues. That's damn disappointing to hear. Next is the Durandal Gladius X by Armo Motors. But hey, at least now you get to save your money for a house that's gonna be better, hopefully. ESC off. And let's go. This feels powerful. Like this versus the last car is like night and day. Ooh, I like it. Cheeky brake balance. See how this accelerates up here and compared to the last car. This is gonna be quick. 56, 57, 58, 59.498. Is that enough? Yes, that's the lead. First place for now for the Durandal Gladius X. Next up, the Falcon T300. So T300 did not score on the quarter mile, but maybe it redeems itself here. Okay, no, this is a drift truck. Fair enough. Nothing wrong with a good bit of fun. Actually, I mean, if you're gonna go full on drift truck, you should also have changed the brake balance and put it further towards the back, but yeah, I mean, that's fine. Good bit of fun. Not the fastest, but hey, not last. Next up, the fifth wheel Camberta S. Okay, so this with its massive inline-six turbo just finished outside the points on the quarter mile. Maybe it can do a little bit better here. This thing is just so big. It does have a brake balance that helps turn the car as well, so. 58, 59, 1 minute. 103.108. Okay, that's somewhere in the middle for now. Not bad, but we'll see if it's enough to score this time. Next up, the Gigantor Americana, which was definitely pretty convincing on the quarter mile, thanks to its 10.9 liter V8, unsurprisingly. But how well is a 2.5 ton truck gonna do on a hill climb like this? Guess we'll have to find out. If this is rear-wheel drive, then it's got no chance, I would say. But I'm pretty sure it's 4x4. For that exact reason. Yeah, it is. Okay, something fell off there. Weight reduction as we go. $59, 1 minute, 101.334. That places it in third for now. Decent. Pretty damn good. Not quite sub 1 minute, but solid enough. Next up, the ITA Melon V8. That is the car made by Priam. 4.5 liter V8. 241 horsepower. Okay, let's do that again. Another pretty slidey boy. Very nice through there. 101, 102, 103, 104.154. Next is the Cover Graph LRS by Polyvitico, I think. Yep, indeed. Okay, so we got a few things to adjust here. Turn off the ESC. Now we're ready. Advanced auto, nice to see. Does have a little bit of understeer, but thankfully the brake balance is such that it helps the car turn in, so that mitigates it to some extent. 101.618 is still pretty good. 4th place for now. Select vehicle. Next up the Kodai Nemesis Yari. Yep, that's by Costco. Hopeful for this one. Let's hope the rear-wheel drive helps. Let's see. Okay, nothing to turn off. Engine feels strong. One 101, 102, 103, 104.149. Just ahead of the ITA Melon. Good. Next up, the Longley Titan 516 ST, which came last on the quarter mile because it only has a 1.6 liter inline 5 turbo, and that has a whole lot of turbo lag. Okay, nothing to adjust on this one. Took like a couple of seconds to get going, but now it's going. Trying to feel out the brake balance there. It's not very much towards the rear, so it doesn't rotate the car very much. And for as long as you're in the power band, there is enough power, but it's just hard. Well, the power band is just very narrow with this one. 105.122. Not last, but near the bottom. So at least it's an improvement compared to the quarter mile. Next is the Mara Bison. By NDD. You're back? Okay, welcome back, Random 41. Your car did unfortunately not score on the quarter mile, but it might do so here on this track, who knows. River drive on this one, but the engine feels strong. Oh, no locking diff. That's a bummer. .755. Stiffly sprung as well, kind of, yeah, but unfortunate that this didn't have a locking diff. It would have been sideways everywhere pretty much, but yeah, 104.755. Next, the Minx Convoy Sport. So this is the car that won the quarter mile. Let's see what it does up the hill. For the UAC, take the first turn flat out, just have faith. Okay, sure. And brave pills. Never run out of brave pills. Just got another monthly supply coming in yesterday. Okay. Can't go flat out in this one. Understeer there. It's got too much power, it doesn't have enough traction. At least not here. Obviously on the drag strip it does, but... On the drag strip this worked very well, but 102.904. Yeah, it does look very nervous. And I don't think it's because of the spring setup. I think it's because of the weight distribution. There is just like the big lump of a 4.3 liter inline six turbo up front, and then no weight on the back. I think that's more of it. That's more the issue rather than the spring stiffness. Next up the Owl TS28 by Mertel. But I believe the Minx was indeed the quickest one out of the rear-wheel drive ones, wasn't it? Up the hill climb now. This also feels pretty damn strong up here. Yeah, this just powers through those tight corners very, very nicely. Nice and tidy suspension setup as well. This is going to be a quick time. 59.749. Third place for now. Very good. Very, very good. Next is the Placard Commodore V8. Took the hairpin like a champ, indeed, yeah. I wonder if off-road or hard would have been a choice for the driver. Oh, okay. As far as tire compound, I don't know. You would have probably suffered here on this track if you went for off-road or hard long life road tires. But overall, I don't know, maybe hard long life road tires would have been the better all-rounder choice. Wow, this is Planet. This is just really, really fast here. This honestly just feels like a sports coupe. You don't get the feeling that this is a truck at all. This is gonna set a new fastest time. Crushing it. 57.118. Damn. Okay. 2 seconds quicker Then the next quickest car, the Durandal. Jesus. Well, that was over fast. Let's get on to the next one. The TMC Yamasi. Man, 57.1. That's incredible. Tell you what, this, even though it doesn't make any noise, this also feels very, very fast. I think this is gonna come in second now. 58.004. Wow. So near the end we're getting the really quick trucks, it seems. Not that the Durandal or the Bakerfield or the Owl were slow or anything, but we're getting a couple of bangers here near the end. Oh yeah, and the Todoki as well. Now, obviously, high expectations with this one, given the history of Aaron's cars. Second overall in the weekend race car challenge. First overall in the 1995 budget sports car challenge. Let's see what he can do with this one. ESC off, and let's go. Okay, that was my mistake, I'm sorry. No, I don't feel much understeer with this, it's just I was late on the brakes. So much power that even with 4x4 it tried to kick out the tail. This is another solid time, I feel like. 58.899, so third place for now. But we do have a couple more cars to go. The Tirana Trooper ST4 is going to be next. By Travic125. Okay. Also feels fast. Short gearing, it seems as well, that does help up the hill quite a bit. $58.786. New third place. Damn, like this is getting exciting here near the top. This is getting close. Wow. Next is the UAC Stalker Sport. So, Random 41, if you're still here. Finally, we get to your car. All right. Now, obviously, this could have all been over like probably an hour ago if Beam didn't have to reload the entire map every time that that you switch car. But well. Engine also feels powerful on this one. Good turning. A little bit understeer there, but solid power. Nice brake balance to help turn the car. Can we get it under a minute? Let's go. Go, power, power, power. Yes, 59.653. Just behind the Bakerfield and ahead of the Owl. Very nice, 7th place actually. Last but not least, the Ursus 5.7 ST. Ursus, I don't know. just caught up with my car. I had to go eat dinner, and I did its thing. So yeah, so you're in the lead right now with your Placard Commodore V8. Let's see. Oh, rear-wheel drive on this one. There went like half the tire tread on the rear wheels. Let's use up the other half right here. $103.556. Solid effort for rear-wheel drive, actually. Very nice. Okay. Right, so gonna quickly do a thing here as well. So now we can fill out the scores as well for race number 2. The Placard Commodore V8 wins with a 57.118. The TMC Yamaha Cross Country 4x4 is in second with a 58.004. The Turana Trooper coming in strong in third, 58.786. The Todoki 58.899. And then the top 5 is rounded out by the Durandal Gladius X with a 59.498. Yeah, honestly, this has been a lot of fun. It's been very close so far. We do have quite a competitive field here. Like, honestly, it's been so, like due to the fact that different cars placed well here compared to the quarter mile. That makes the overall standing pretty interesting. Let's see. I'm gonna quickly sort this by total score. So overall, right now the Placard Commodore V8 is in the lead with 25 points. Sorry. The TMC Yamaha is overall in second place with 24 points, followed by the Todoki with 20 points, and then the Minx Convoy Sport is in fourth with 18 points. And then in fifth, we've got 3 cars tied for fifth. We've got the Bakerfield, we've got the Owl, and we've got the Turana, all tied with 15 points. So I hope to see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the final race on the Automation Hillclimb 2. And before you leave, don't forget to click like if you haven't already. And I hope to see you again tomorrow. Have a good one. See you next time. Bye-bye.